Then,
Finally.
then I had all, that's life. When you really give up, I'm not been so pleased or happy
You
to
have to take
see
this side.
like I have been with today. And you look good at this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, but it is breaking. The voice is slightly breaking. Let me see.
Can you say something?
But can you hear me well?
I can hear you well now.
Yeah. So I'm saying, I'm very, very happy to see you. Not, after 30 minutes of trying, and you look more than a chef.
I I don't know why this happened because I mean I have a brand new phone. I have complete Wi-Fi, but sometimes technical glitches happen at
Just
the right moment.
technology, I think sometimes. But you look more like a rock star than a chef. Your glasses and your mustache.
We tried connecting with Suraj in the afternoon. It happened. Morning it took a couple of tries. I don't know, but it happened. But I just maybe the time was not right. 6:30,
No,
seven
no, no.
o'clock. I guess was the right time.
It happens when it has to happen. So completely, when we are just, like almost, I was ready to give it happened. So it's a big lesson for me as well in life. Never give up. so,
I know. So let's get
let's
going.
let's get going. And I know you are going to teach us the prawn pakora and keema vada also, keema vada, right? But let's do some
I just
talking
hope
about.
we have the time. I
No,
just
no,
hope we have the time because
no.
30
It's okay.
minutes is.
Started now. We will start the time now. Just and whosoever is passionate enough and would stay, right? Let's enjoy the
Okay.
conversation. Yeah, yeah. So, so I think you understand your journey. You did hotel management in Bangalore. You were in Taj Group, and then you have been teaching in Christ College since 2000, right? So, tell us a bit about how you got to teaching and how satisfying this has been for you. This journey, teaching lot and making so many cooks and teaching so many people cooking and giving them love.
Well, the journey started back. My teaching journey started about 20 years back. It was
Hmm.
by accident. It was not. It was not planned. Okay, to be honest. so, so after a stint with the Taj Group of Hotels, the restaurant bug bit us, and we friends wanted to open a restaurant of our own. I mean, little did we know that how tough this business is, but we took a dive straight into it. Without even considering a lot of other facts. So, well, we did. We were successful in opening a restaurant, and I hope I'm audible. I'm
Yeah,
audible, right?
everything is good now.
Yeah. Yeah, so we opened a small little European bistro, a 30-seater bistro in south of Bangalore, and started off with this journey, and every day was a learning experience for us. We would experience new things on a daily basis, and at the end of the day, we would see a drawer full of cash, and that would make us happy. Say, oh yeah, we are also earning money. So that I think went for about a couple of years when. We used to have most 90% of our guests were regulars, and there used to be a team of people who would generally come to dine with us. And that's when I later got to know that was the team from the Department of Hotel Management. So I think Mr. Bhuvan is here listening to us, and he was the gentleman who came one evening and ordered for a meal, and I cooked the meal and I served it myself. And then he asked me if somebody's done their hotel management. So I said yes, I have done. My friends have not done. They are all from different backgrounds, and I'm training them up to run this place. So he said, would you like to teach? I said, I've never taught. So he said, why don't you give it a try? So I said, teach whom? So then he introduced himself. He said, well, we are from Christ College. Then it was known as Christ College, and today it is Christ University. So he said, would you like to come and teach at the college? So I said, well, give it a try. So if it doesn't hamper the business, I said I could definitely give it a try. Then I spoke to my friends and they said, why don't you go and give it a try? It's just that you will make some extra bucks. And money was not a criteria then. We never thought that, okay, extra money is always good money. So we started off once in a week, and that those days were just to take part-time classes every Wednesday. You go, and so when I went there for on my first class, I had to teach a final year students of hotel management. They were third years. It was a 3-year course then, and I saw like about 30 students who were there and who were still raw.
Yeah,
That's how the that's how the teaching journey started. So this was sometime in the summer of 2000. So 2000 July we started off with part-time training, and after a year, well, they offered me. They said, "Would you like to continue full-time with us?" Because that was the time when the course needed, because practicals is a very integral part of this training program. So that's how I joined in, and then yeah, it was a learning experience, and still I think every day today is a learning experience.
of course. And I think, you should be proud you have trained so many, but also touch upon something I know that you take your students on a culinary trails, right? In Burma, Bhutan, Tamil Nadu, Punjab. So tell us a bit about those culinary trails, journeys.
Yeah, so culinary journey started a couple of years ago. So it so happened that during our course of this hotel management program, somewhere we got to know that a lot of Indian cuisine is not being taken as specialization even by students. Everybody would want to specialize in French and Italian and Thai and Mexican and so many other cuisines, and leaving their own cuisine. So this we realized during the course, and we said that we have to, emphasize on teaching students Indian cuisine. You need to know your food first before you are talking about somebody else's food. So and there's no end to learning
Right.
Indian
That's
cuisine. So that is when we started focusing our entire teaching on the principles of slow food. Okay, wherein you start connecting with local food, you start learning local recipes, you start to learn about ingredients, and the only way to learn about food is to travel. If you do not travel, you don't learn. In fact, I was reading a nice quote from a book, which the book is called "You and I Eat the Same." In that is very aptly mentioned that if there was no travel between different regions, today food would have been the most boring thing on this planet. Okay, so that's how it is. So when this came in, then we said, yeah, I think culinary journeys has to be a part of this program. So every summer we would take students and go out for culinary journeys. In fact, it happened a couple of years back when we had not yet formalized culinary tours. When one of our students, then she came up to me and she said, we have a couple of holidays coming up, and why don't we go to my hometown? It's a one-night journey by train in Karnataka. And we were also at that time getting our college department magazine. So I said it'll be some good information to put on that. And I took along a photographer who was a friend then, and a couple of students and another colleague of mine. And we did this little journey and went to about 3 or 4 places. It was about 4 days. We went to Shimoga. We went to certain villages around the place and ate certain different foods, documented it, and came. And that inspired us to do more. So I think after that we've done Punjab, we've done Manipur, we've done about 4 trips to Tamil Nadu, we've done Pune, we've done Mumbai, and a couple of more.
So
This purely to eat food.
next time, please take me with you on this journey. I love to.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely. You just got to be ready to do 3 or 4 breakfasts, and if you don't mind putting up 5 kilos by the time you come back, you're ready. You're ready to come with us.
great foodie, and the way you explained it to me, I understand. I think you are a great. I think you are also a purist, like about slow cooking, about culture. Food is about a narrative, about a culture, about how people use water there, how people use their vessels, whether it's copper or brass, and whether they do slow cooking, what kind of local spices they use, and what is the emotional connect with that recipe and that food. So food is just not just a quantifiable thing, a series of logical steps where you can create it. It's more about emotions, culture, narratives. That's all make which goes behind food, right? Which gives its name. It's like the narrative behind it. So I think you're doing a great thing till you put all that behind. You cannot connect to that food which you're eating or put your love into it while you're cooking.
Yes. Absolutely, yeah, yeah. You need to emotionally get connected with food, and food has a bearing with your mind. If you're not in that frame of mind, you can't cook good food. So that's
Yes.
how it is. That's why sometimes hotel food tastes good, sometimes it doesn't taste good,
Yes.
but at home food tastes good because it's made by somebody and it's made for the family and things like that.
तो वो सारा भाव उसमें आना चाहिए, वो सारे इमोशंस दोस, and that recipe has to be preserved, be it be the vessels or water or spices, or like if you're using a biryani. So let's maybe move to a bit of biryani because we have biryani by kilo. So I think maybe I
Mhm.
had a conversation with you telling me about this place called Peramul Biryani, right? It's a 170-year-old restaurant, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
And
well, let me talk to you something about biryani.
yes.
Uh, well, I think I was mentioning this yesterday also. I think that's the best thing that's happened to Indian culinary scene.
Hmm.
Biryani is not Indian, but today it is so much Indian. It came from the Middle East. Okay, we believe it's come from Persia, so it came through them from the North Frontier route and landed into the country. And as it has, I would say, disseminated till probably till Kanyakumari. It has filtered down, and today there's no region or there is no state which doesn't, or there's no community which doesn't make a biryani. If there is meat and rice put together, whatever it is people call it a biryani today. There could be
Even
different types of rice.
even vegetables, right? It can be a vegetarian.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, yeah. Even vegetables, meat, paneer, like you guys do. Biryani by Kilo does a biryani with paneer. I think nobody ever does this, and you all do it. Maybe you can try something else. So I think that's the best thing that has happened to food. So during one of our culinary trails, we were driving through Dindigal, and we had a pit stop in Dindigal, and we wanted to try the Venu biryani over there. So we
Right.
did that as well. We did that as well, and we were visiting a gherkin production unit. Okay, there's a gentleman Salim who packs and exports gherkins from there all over Russia and Europe and things like that. And he had fixed lunch for us at a restaurant, and he said it's going to be a very special meal for you all today. So he took us to a place. It was more of a broken down building, okay, and then told us that this place is 170 years old. So he said the biryani over here is phenomenal. It's over by 9 in the morning. By 9 or 9:30 maximum, it's over. It starts at
By
7 o'clock
morning is over.
morning. Yeah, it's about for
But
2 hours. Just for 2 hours, it's over. So,
and
but that
what,
day,
30 to 40 kgs of biryani in the every morning?
yeah, probably even more, little more than that.
Still more than that.
Little more than that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what he had requested the gentleman to make biryani again for us for lunch. So we were there for lunch, and it's. I mean, you have to taste it to actually experience. I can't express the flavor of the biryani as to how it is, but the differences in South, the biryani is had with dalcha. They gave it with the dalcha made out of mutton bones, and the fuel to cook this biryani was not firewood or not charcoal or not gas. It was husk of the peanut shells.
Wow. So
They
the
were
few,
using peanut shells,
and,
yes, for the
and
fuel.
they've been doing it for 170 years. It's the fourth generation of these entrepreneurs who
Yes,
are making
yes,
it.
yes, yes. Perumal Nadu is the fourth generation owner, and they just make two things. They make a mutton biryani and they make a dalcha.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it. Nothing
Just
else.
and the life is set.
Life is set. Yeah. So see, these people have never opened a restaurant to actually make money or make different outlets. For them, passion was to create that simple food and feed people, and they've stuck to that mantra, and it has grown. That's
So,
how it is.
so like we were talking, this biryani is about tradition, about using some same vessel which might have been used for 100 years, or maybe somewhere closer to that. Same peanut husk, fuel, different. So it's also you were talking about the bhatkali biryani, and also the Inam Kulathur biryani, right? Can you talk a bit about that? It'll help us understand the different biryanis in South. I think we lost. Yeah. So,
So
so
you okay? Then talking about the Iram Kolatur biryani and the Bhatkal biryani. Okay. Yeah. So like I was telling you, like every state I think has a biryani. It's just that Lucknow, Kolkata, and Hyderabad has made it big. Okay.
yeah,
I think
but
it
you were
was marketed well. Yeah, the biryani I think was marketed well, and it's popular. But if you look at, there are so many other smaller regions which the biryanis they have a story to tell.
yes,
More than it being marketed, they have a story. So this place, Inam Kolatur, is about 30 kilometers from Madurai on the Madurai Trichy four-lane highway. 30 kilometers if you drive, there's a little town, a small village, I would say. It's a very small village. Yeah, I mean, it goes unnoticed if you don't know the proper, how to reach there. So every Sundays there's this family who runs a small little restaurant. Probably I doubt if the restaurant has even a name. People just go and ask there where the biryani is, and somebody will take you there. So so they take you over there, and I mean you go there on a Sunday, and we were there by about 12, 11, I think 11 o'clock. So there was not a single person there. The restaurant has about some 30 people can sit. It has tables and benches, and next to it is a small shed where there's just one person making the biryani. He's got a handi which he can't even move. It might have had in that, I think, not less than 60 or 70 kilos of meat and about 50 kilos of rice. So you can't lift that handi. Okay, so this one man comes there and makes the biryani. By 12 o'clock, they asked us to go and sit down. He said, "You won't get a place to sit." And we were, in fact, laughing. He said, "Who's going to eat so soon? We've just had lunch, breakfast, and we've come." In fact, we had a very, very heavy breakfast in Madurai and we left. And in about 20 minutes' time, there were at least 30 to 40 people ready to get inside. But these people had reserved the chair for us, and we went, sat. We were the first to eat when the dum was opened. And and that's when we realized, and he said there are people who come all the way from Chennai to parcel a biryani. They come from Trichy to parcel a biryani, which means they drive about 100 kilometers just to take biryani back. So, and they have been doing it for so many years.
they've been maybe doing it for 30, 40, 50 years, right? Maybe.
More than that, yeah, more than that. For them, 50 years is not a big time.
And also they follow a certain recipe in terms of siding agent, the vessels, everything. And so I think, of course, like biryani by kilo, we do three different kinds of biryani: Hyderabadi, Lucknowi, and Kolkata. And during some festivals, we have done Ambur biryani, we have done Malabar biryani. So, but there's so many biryanis in India. But if I can take 1 minute to talk a bit about biryani by kilo, right? I don't know how much. I know you're in Bangalore, so you might not have tried it, but I think your family is in Pune, so they might have tried biryani by kilo there. So we have outlets in Bombay, Pune, 20 cities in India. So, what all have you heard about biryani by kilo? Anything which hits about biryani by kilo when you look at the website or you've talked to people? We should be in Bangalore soon as the lockdown opens. We're looking forward to coming to Bangalore and Chennai.
I was wondering, in fact, why biryani by kilo is not there in Bangalore. I mean, when I started to read about you all, and I saw that you guys make biryani in a mud pot, and you also put the biryani to cook in a mud pot rather than mixing rice and curry and last minute just stuffing it inside and then giving it. but you'll cook it in the mud pot. You'll do the dum process in the mud pot. So there's a lot of flavor to it. There's a lot of time taken. Okay, which is a nice thing. And yes, to diversify, to please all types of palates. You have different types of biryani. Uh, as I told you, I think this to actually savor every biryani from this country, I don't think so. One lifetime is enough. You will, yes, you need to take birth again.
Of course. Sorry, my light is gone, so I'm just going to give me some light here. So, but I
Oh
think
yes,
internet is working. So, yeah, but for the viewers, also like to say in Biryani by Kilo, we, dum cook the biryani in the same handi in which we deliver it to the customer. And the dum cooking happens after we get the order from the customer. So that's why, in Biryani by Kilo, it takes us 30 to 40 minutes to dum cook the biryani. So we take around an hour to deliver it, because biryani cannot be delivered in half an hour. This means it has to be cooked in 10 minutes. So pizza, of course, can be cooked in 10 minutes fresh, but not biryani. So we do it the
yes.
old school way, the traditional way. We use the rice, which is 2 years naturally aged, the spices which are handpicked from the suppliers we know in Lucknow or Kerala or different parts. The saffron and kevras are sourced from old vendors in Chandni Chowks in Lucknow, and the cinnamon from Kerala. So different things. It is done with love. Of course, we have all the kebabs, the galati, mutton galotis and the veg galotis and finnies. So a bit about biryani by kilo, but let's moving it to kebabs. Like, of course, you're going to show us the keema vada,
That's right. Yeah.
keema vada, right? Yeah. So before I think we move to I think you're going to show us the recipes, and I think a lot of viewers might be waiting for it. I wanted to pick your brain on some of the best cooking books. You being a cooking professor, cooking teacher for 20 years, and which are some of the best books you think, if you have to pick up like three cooking books, one Indian, one Italian, and maybe one baking, or one about food science, which will be the books you'll like to recommend to the viewers? If people have 3 4 books in their kitchen, which should be those books, if you can?
Okay. First thing, coming with books is, let me tell you, how do you choose a book when you want to buy a book? There are a million cooking books available on Amazon and in shops. I think today nobody goes to buy a book. You can buy it online. Uh, so the first thing is, you got to choose what subject. What are you just looking for recipes? There are a million books on recipes, but if you're looking to seriously learn something out of it, then yes, then you got to really first see who the author is, the credibility of the author. Okay, I would definitely want to buy an Indian cooking book written by an Indian who's probably done a lot of work in that field, rather than just picking up a book written by somebody else from some other country. So I would say, for something for beginners to understand what it is, there's a very nice book called Prashad, a cooking master. I think that's a fantastic book,
Lot,
which one should have in the collection.
lot of,
Yes. Yes, and if you want to understand food, there's a small book by K.T. Achaya. Any book by K.T. Achaya is also very nice.
okay.
On Italian food, if you want to learn Italian food, then there is by Marcella Hazan.
Yes.
There's a beautiful book. Yeah, that's got a lot of basics on Italian food which somebody can try. In fact, there are a lot of big restaurants that follow that book and have taken inspiration from that book. And then
Marcella,
there is Harold McGee. Yeah, and then there is Harold McGee, who's I think the godfather of science in food. There's
yes.
nobody else better than him, who's done on food and cooking, which will
Okay.
talk to you all about cooking, which will tell you the processes and what is rice and what is milk, and to an extent of how honey is manufactured inside the bee. Okay, he goes to that extent.
Very scientific
So
way
I
of
think
the ingredients which cooking requires and the cooking methods.
yes, 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 yeah. And yeah, I think today more than just recipes, I mean, it's always nice to have your own book. So, well, hopefully one day. I see some people are saying that I need to write my own book. Yes,
Of
hopefully
course,
soon.
20 years of cooking, you're ready to write, with so many experiences. So, without holding any, let's look at the food now. And let's look at two of the recipes which you can share today. prawn pakoda and uh, the 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 vada, right? The keema
Yeah,
vada.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So let's get
yeah.
them. If you,
Yeah, so we were talking about just before we start that, as we were, I think we were discussing as to how it is a vada and not a kebab.
right.
So, well, since you guys are also into since you guys are always also into cooking, making kebabs, the word kebab is popular in south of India, at least in Bangalore. And if you say kebab, everybody will, I think 95% of Bangaloreans will relate it to the chicken kebab because that is what is extremely popular over here. Every restaurant serving meat makes a chicken kebab. They have their own marination to it.
Hmm.
Okay, you're there. So it's got chicken, it's got some cornstarch or any kind of starch to bind it, some refined flour. Then it's got ginger garlic paste, and it has got chili powder, turmeric, garam masala, and a bit of soya sauce, and sometimes an egg. If you don't want it to be, if you don't want to get soft, you don't add the egg. If you want it to be crispy, you don't add the egg. If not, you add the egg. Just mix it up. And many people add some food coloring to that. I'm not for that. And you just let this mixture marinate for a couple of hours, and then you deep fry it. So that's a very simple chicken kebab, which is extremely popular over here. Apart from that, you have the locals who make. I wouldn't call it a kebab, but as I said, somebody from north would call it a kebab, which is made with lamb mince, and it's made into small dumplings. Either it's made round and fried, or it is flattened and it's fried. It's called a keema vada. So here we call it a vada because vada is a very South Indian snack. Okay, since it's made with and it's not the vada with the hole. So this one is just flat.
Not a vada.
Okay, so it's something very similar to the chapli kebab that we make. So chapli kebab is made with raw meat. Here you can either make this with raw meat or you can make it with cooked meat. So let me take you and show you. I have the mise en place ready there, and quickly maybe let's try making two dishes.
Yes.
So we can
Yes.
chat
Yes.
as we.
Yes. Looking forward.
So we can yeah we can
Yes.
chat as
Of course. It's a pleasure.
we cook.
So do you chef cook at home? Is your family or you don't really cook much at home?
Oh yeah, I do on Sundays. So here you can see here
Okay.
I have the mince meat, which is so what we have basically done to this is we've taken I've just taken quarter kilo mince meat with 1 teaspoon of the three main spices: chili, little bit of turmeric, and coriander powder, little bit of garam masala, and then a hint of cumin powder, a teaspoon of ginger garlic paste, and I have just cooked this with no water. Put everything in a frying pan and slowly cover it, mix it up and cook because the meat has its own juices. Salt will give out its own water. So you just cook it for about 10 minutes and 10 to 15 minutes. And then after which you grind it to a paste. You can see over here, it's ground to a uh,
Is
paste in
it
the mixie.
it's chicken or mutton?
This is lamb, it's mutton.
Okay.
Okay, so to that we add, so to this we are going to add a bit of onions which I've chopped and kept a little bit. Okay, we're going to be adding some coriander, some green chili, and this is roasted gram flour, maybe 2 spoons, just to bind it, and a little bit of beaten egg.
This is egg yolk and white.
Yeah, both put together, and then we'll add some oil.
Okay. Which oil are you using, chef?
Oh, I'm using peanut oil, but you can add any oil, and then we mix this. I have already put the salt, so I'm not going to add any salt. And we give it a nice mix and see how it feels. If it is too hard, you can add a little more of egg in it.
And maybe a bit of oil.
No, that's about it. So it's ready. So you just make them into dumplings,
Oh, wow. It's not that.
and you can see, and you flatten it,
Oh, wow.
and they're ready to be fried. So let's do a couple, and while the
You
oil is getting hot,
just put it on a tawa, just stir fry.
you can put it on a tawa or you can deep fry it. It's nice. It's better to be deep fried.
Okay, you're doing it deep fried. Okay.
Yeah. So I would say this is something very similar to a shikam puri, but it's only that you have South Indian spices over here, and you don't have any strong garam masala. Garam masala is very very mild.
Pampuri requires some cheese as well.
No, in this we don't add any kind of cheese.
Okay.
Traditionally, no. But if you want to innovate, yes. But somehow lamb mince does not go that good with cheese.
So it's
In
a very
shikam they add little bit of hung yogurt.
hung yogurt. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that's about it. So let's
Let's see. Oh, wow.
okay. I know. Yeah, I think you can see the kadai.
It's
Okay.
not a
So
very,
once
it's not a
this
very,
gets hot, by then, pardon me.
it's not a very difficult recipe.
Not at all. Let me show you something else. So over here, this is something which you can make during the monsoons. So this is some chopped up prawns.
Oh, these are chopped prawns.
You
Wow.
can see. This is prawns which are deveined and they are chopped into small pieces.
These are raw prawn chop.
Absolutely raw.
Okay.
So in this, I'm going to add some onions,
Okay.
some green chilies,
But it is almost
some.
same. It's almost like the keema. Right?
No, this is slightly different. This is slightly different. I'm going to add some coriander. Then I'm going to add a sprig of marjoram.
Okay. What is this? Can you say
Okay.
it again?
This is a herb called marjoram.
Marjoram. Okay.
Marjoram is I grow this. So when we visited Manipur in one of the food trails, this whole marjoram, what is there? They take a bunch of it, they dip it in besan batter, and they fry it and sell it as a street food snack.
Oh.
And it's got an amazing flavor. Yeah, it's got an amazing flavor once you fry them.
Is it more like
Okay.
a basil or rosemary, like to uplift?
It has got a hint of ajwain and basil, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of that. Okay, and then we're going to be adding. This is besan.
Okay.
Okay, so before that, yes, our oil is hot over here. I'm going to put.
So this is for right?
This is for the keema vada. You just fry it till it is golden brown for about a couple of seconds and take it out.
Wow. In the keema vada, the meat you use the mutton was raw or slightly.
I cook the raw meat with some spices, with the chili, turmeric, coriander, garam masala, cumin, and a teaspoon of ginger garlic paste.
So mutton is a bit cooked, but just for 10-15 minutes or so.
Absolutely, yeah. For about 15 minutes, till it gets dry. So it gets dry in about 15 minutes.
Minced meat, okay.
So once it's golden like this, it's done.
Okay, great.
And it's an amazing monsoon snack.
Wow. Looking very good.
Okay, so unfortunately, I'm the only one who can taste it.
Why? Where is your family now?
Uh, if if Delhi was close by, maybe I would have couriered some to you. But
Yes, yes. That's right now. If,
yeah.
Delhi, we would have got these.
So let me open one and show you
Yes.
the way it looks. So
You should
that's
put
how
some
it is.
those look good. Right.
That's how it is. So all you need is you just need some mint chutney to go with it,
Wow.
and or if you don't have mint chutney, some ketchup will go with it. I can share I can share the recipe with you. Maybe you could try this in Delhi, and I'm sure it will go well.
Yeah, please share both the recipes so we can also share it with the viewers.